When solving a quadratic inequality, my first step is to ensure my quadratic is on one side and 0 on the other side. My next step is to factorise my quadratic. As I have 3 terms, a quadratic in terms of x, I know it's going to factorise into what we call double brackets. As my quadratic starts x squared, I know each bracket will start with a single letter of x. My rule is I need to find 2 numbers that multiply to give us the number term, in this case -6, and the same numbers must still add to give us the number in front of the single letter, in this case -5. The only way to get a negative when multiplying is to have one positive and one negative in any order. Listing out the factors of 6, they are 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. Only one pair will work, as they need to add in this case to give us -5. Therefore it has to be +1 and -6. As we want our quadratic to be less than 0, we should know that less than 0 is where our quadratic graph is below ground. To find where my quadratic is below ground, my first step is to put my quadratic equal to 0 and solve for x to get my roots. If I put my first single bracket equal to 0, well, the opposite add 1. If it goes across an equal sign, changes sign. So one root is x equals -1. Placing my second single bracket equal to 0, the opposite of -6, if it goes across an equal sign, would change sign. Therefore, my other root is x equals +6. I now draw a quick sketch of my graph. As my 2 roots was x equals -1 and x equals +6, our roots is where it crosses our horizontal axis. So in this case, it was x. It crossed at -1 and +6. Going back to my quadratic, as it's +x squared, therefore I know it's a parabola, i.e. U-shape. As I want my quadratic to be less than 0, i.e. where the graph is below ground, well, ground here is my horizontal axis. So it's below ground, we can see for this one continuous region, where it's above ground for this region to the left and this region going off to the right. As I just want the region below ground, as it's one region, therefore it's simply one inequality. So you put the letter in the middle, in this case x. So x is going to be greater than, in this case, -1, and x is going to be less than 6. Show the solution to x squared minus 5x minus 6 is less than 0 on the number line. As I've already worked out my solution in part A, as I've got 2 inequality signs, I start by drawing 2 open circles above the 2 n numbers. So I'm going to draw a circle above -1, here on the left. I'm going to draw another open circle above number +6, here on the right. I'm going to draw a line then connecting my 2 circles.